I didn't go out looking for anything specific. There was no checklist or shot list, any perfect shot in mind. It had just been a while, and I was looking forward to being out in nature and finally getting some photos again. A couple of the early shots had some nice features to them. Trail photos can be pretty simple, but they can also have this nice depth to them. They can guide the eye deep into the frame. Here, the path curves just enough to pull the viewer into the forest. And with the light coming in from the top left, it lifts the leaves and brings a soft highlight to the subject. There was this warmth, almost like a glow, coming from some of the trees. I centered one through my lens and tilted up toward the bright top edge, letting those brighter leaves fit into frame. I feel a bit of nostalgia from this one. I'm not exactly sure why. It's a pretty simple shot, but sometimes those simple shots are the ones that feel most alive. A little further along, I noticed what I thought were some wilting foxglove flowers. The composition wasn't quite working. The white petals in the background clashed with the central subject. If I would have just taken a small step to the left, it would have given both of these some room to breathe. And I think I also stayed a little too far back. My lens didn't zoom in as close as I wanted it to, and I forgot that sometimes feet are the best zoom lens of them all. A closer crop might have picked up on some texture, which could have made the shot feel a little more interesting. This one reminded me that I was out of practice. And truthfully, that's because my gear has been stuck in moving boxes for the past few months now. But today was a start. Dragging it all out of the closet and getting it back to my hands was something I've been waiting to do for quite a while. And while it takes some time to immediately jump back into where I left off, it was at least a start. Then, somewhere between frames, I heard it. An owl. I paused, didn't move, didn't even raise my camera. I just listened. Somewhere within all of this was probably something that could see me, but I wasn't able to get my eyes on it. All I could do was listen. It didn't call for a few minutes, and after waiting a few more, still nothing. I kept walking, still taking photos, but now with a bit of an added awareness. Every snap of a branch or distant bird call that I heard was me wondering if that was it again. Along the trail, I really found myself drawn to the contrast of textures and colors. What was normally just an ordinary rock or a fallen tree felt like a new subject kind of tucked within all of this greenery. And I really like some of these frames. They feel pretty ordinary, but also like they could represent something at the same time. A spider was clinging to its web on a small plant off to the side of the trail. I raised my aperture and switched my camera to manual focus. It took longer than it should have, and even now I don't think I got a sharp shot of the spider, but it was a good challenge. I think the colors work well together, and I was able to grab the light-colored spider against a nice black background to help bring out the subject. And as all this is going on, I of course was still hoping to catch up to the owl at some point. Especially because on these nature photography walks, I always try to grab some wildlife. Sometimes if I'm lucky, it's something super rare and exciting like an owl or a moose or a bear, but most often it's the common things. And sometimes you have to lean in a little bit closer to grab the tiny thing off to the side. Sometimes with a lot of legs, or sometimes much slimier. The slug was tucked away in the moss of a log and created a fun frame. Sometimes it helps to take a step back and make your eyes wide as possible, to see the treetops and make sure you'll notice if there's an owl or a bird, a squirrel scaling a tree. But when that's not working, you have to lean in, pay attention to the small things, because they're right there, we just often pass them by. I never did find the owl, but in search of it, I was given fresh air, a nice walk back in nature, and a good fresh start getting back into photography again. And the best part is, not finding it this time just makes the next big discovery that much sweeter.